Hi guys, welcome back to our mathematics tutorial. My name is Peter C. Dogba Jr., your math tutor, and I'm also an instructor of mathematics at the University of Liberia. So this is question number 19 in our lesson on finding derivatives of trigonometric inverse function. So the question says f of x is equal to sine inverse of 2 sine of x minus 1. So we know that the derivative of sine inverse of x is just equal to 1 all over the square root of 1 minus x squared times the derivative of x. So this entire expression represents our x. So when we differentiate this expression, we must also differentiate our x. So let's find the derivative. Now, one of the ways we can solve it by using the chain rule. If we don't want to use the chain rule, we can just go directly. But we can decide to use the chain rule. That is, what is within? We want to get rid of this and just represent it with a single variable. So we can say let u equals to 2 sine of x minus 1. So remember the chain rule says dy by dx is just equal to dy by du times du by dx. Because if you allow this to be your u, you have to differentiate with respect to x. So it will be the derivative of u with respect to x. Now, if you replace this with u now, the function will be a function in u, not in x any longer. So this will just be f of u is equal to sine inverse of u. So that will be dy by du. So let's first find our du by dx, du by dx. The derivative of sine of x is just cos of x. So we have 2 cos of x. The derivative of a constant goes to 0. So we've gotten our dy by du. We now need to find our dy by, let's say we've gotten du by dx. We now need to find dy by du. So we can replace this with just y, and then this is just equal to sine inverse of u. So y du dy by du now would just be 1 all over the square root of 1 minus u squared. Times the derivative of u, the derivative of this u is just 1. So now what we need to do is to just multiply these two expressions. So dy by dx is equals dy by du, which is this, 1 over the root of 1 minus u squared times du by dx, which is now 2 cos of x. But remember, the original variable of this problem was in x, not u. So we need to replace this u. What was u from the onset? U was just equal to this expression. So we have dy by dx is now 2x all over the square root of 1 minus, this is u. U is 2 sine of x minus 1 all square. So this is 2 cos of x. Sorry. So we can simplify the denominator. So it's 2 cos of x. So we can multiply this twice. That is sine of x minus 1, and then 2 sine of x minus 1. So 2 sine of x times 2 sine of x gives us 4 sine square x. Remember this negative affects every term in here. So 2 sine of x times minus 1 gives us plus, because negative and this negative is positive, plus 2 sine of x. And then 1 times, negative 1 times 2 sine of x. So negative negative is positive. So again, it's plus 2 sine of x. And then minus 1 times minus 1 is positive 1. And this is negative 1. So it's minus 1. So what do you observe? The first term and the last term can go out. So we can just have dy by dx, which will now be equal to 2 cos of x all over Now these are like terms. So we have, so take the positive first. So this and this is just 4. It's 4 sine of x. And what's here is minus 4 sine square x. So in order to simplify this problem further, we can factor out. Now, in order for one of these trig functions to come outside of this square root, it means that the factor must be a square. So we can say let's factor out let's factor out 4 sine square x. So 4 sine square x goes into this first. So it's just like 4 sine x and then divided by 4 sine square x. So the remainder will be 1 over sine of x. So the first one will be 1 over sine of x. And then 4 sine square x goes into 4 sine square x is just equals to 1. So the square root of this 4 is 2. So this is 2 cos of x. So this can come outside as 2. Then sine square x is just coming outside as sine of x times the square root of. Now, 1 over sine of x is just equals to cosecant of x minus 1. But what is this 2 and this 2 go out? What is cos over? So just note that. So cos over sine now. Cos over sine is just equals to cot of x, or divided by the root of cosecant of x minus 1. If you like, you can multiply both by this square root, but so this is how we find the derivative of trigonometric inverse function. So see you in our next lesson. Thanks ever so much. See you in our next lesson.